sound. Okay. No, wrong. Never gonna figure this out. Mirror. Oh, good. Whoa. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Jennifer.
Okay, I'm trying to mirror your video. Oh, off. Ha
How'd it go?
ha! One of these days I'll get it right and no one will even have to say anything. How are you?
Good. What's Diamond's money?
Diamonds equal money. Yeah, like if you give me diamonds,
Oh,
then I
you're
can.
missing the end.
Damn it!
There you go. I'm glad I
You know,
could be of help.
nothing makes you feel stupider than having to write on a whiteboard because then you're like, I missed like an I earlier. It's been a whole thing. Okay, you just wanted to see my jersey.
Yes, I'm a huge Alfred Breeze fan. That's his name, right?
What?
Yeah, Alfred Breeze. Reginald Breeze?
What?
Reese
No,
Breeze.
try again. Just you got
I
this.
know it's Drew Breeze. I'm just being, me.
Oh, okay, okay. Listen, I know you have the game on over there, right?
Wait, what game?
Oh no.
Are
Okay.
you talking about are you talking about Silk Song?
I'm talking about football. Well, that's
Oh,
why I'm wearing the jersey. Today is opening day.
oh. Yeah, I don't have the game on.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, is there like one game or a lot of them?
Well, today is one. Sometimes they'll do two, but today there's just one that I know of. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's just the one. It's
Right.
the it's the Eagles. It's the Eagles and the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, my favorite teams.
Yes. Well, and so for me, um, I have Jalen Hurts in my starting lineup. He's my starting quarterback, uh, and he is the Super Bowl winner of last year.
Oh yeah, of course.
Other recognizable names on the Eagles that just stop me if you hear that. If anybody sounds familiar. Saquon Barkley,
Oh yeah, yeah. State Farm Barkley.
Dallas Goddard. I'm gonna wave to you over here too. Um, any of those? No, DeAndre Swift.
Oh yeah, yeah. Taylor Swift's cousin. Yes.
Yes, her more known black cousin.
Yep, that guy.
So I want to talk about football really quick while we've got people coming on and joining us. First of all, I'm a huge Saints fan, and if you know about football, you would know that that is a very toxic relationship. And Dave, since you know me, I like things a little messy. I like a challenge in my relationship, and so being a Saints fan is one of those challenges. But 9 is my lucky number, and Drew Brees was a formidable quarterback for many seasons.
Oh yeah, quarterback. How many 3-pointers did you get per game?
Okay, so you're going to be banned. But anyway, I love football, and I think that I didn't always love football. I like it now because because I do the competition, I do fantasy, and at first, my family is big into football. My parents have had their own fantasy league for years. I had the option to join. I didn't because I didn't care. I was working, and I have a young child and all these things. Are you hearting me? This is so cute.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the heart. So, I was, Kennedy was young. My career was taken off. Like, I didn't have time to deal with football, and I didn't realize how easy it was. And my parents would do like live drafts of those. Remember that game, like what is it? Minute to win it or something?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, and they would do all these fun games. And now, everyone lives in different states and cities, so it's hard to do a live draft in person with your league, if you've got everybody out of state. So, but yeah, I love football. I like knowing all the players, and to be honest, I don't know a lot about the rules. So I know like some rules. I know like today at the start of the game, like somebody spit in someone's face and they got ejected, and I can't wait to see that on the replay. So it can get pretty brutal.
Well, I can't wait to see more
Okay.
someday.
Well, I'm very excited. Okay. So, did you know that today is our lucky 13th episode?
13 already. Okay.
Yeah, well, I feel like, we've been doing this for a minute now and it's been really fun. Are you enjoying being on every week?
Of course. I mean, although I've only missed one, right?
Yeah, you even joined when you were in Europe. So, yeah, I think
Oh, yeah.
you missed you when you were in England the first week, but that was it. You've been on every time.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, so you are the MVP. How does the board look? I thought I would do like cutout letter. I gotta get a more professional looking board. I don't know what other shows do, but I thought this was fun for now.
Yeah, no, it looks great. I can read everything. That's perfect.
I spelled everything okay.
It's cut
Um,
off on Instagram though, but
oh, I know. I can't win it all. Like, my office, so I can only, like, if I turn it this way for
yeah.
TikTok, then it will, what I mean, for Instagram, then you won't see it on TikTok. So one day, and I'm like, I'm really excited for it to be like fall weather, so I can have the window open and wear pants for once. And it's just been so hot. It was over 100 every day this week, but today. So it's been worse. So how is it? And it's cool by you, right?
You know what? I haven't stepped foot out. No, that's not true. I stepped foot earlier, and
Yeah.
it was I don't know, maybe probably high 70s.
All right. Well, here we're gonna invite Kennedy to be one of our co-hosts today. What are they gonna do? Say no? What are they gonna do? Ban me? Um, let's see if she picks up on that invite. So when I hit invite, what happens on your end?
I get a little prompt saying that you've invited.
That's so cute. And then you have to like decline. You can accept or decline.
Correct.
Cool, cool, cool. All right. All right. Well, before we get started, one more thing. Where are you in Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Where am I? I forgot. I was watching it last night before I went to sleep.
You know, the show is so good, and I do feel like it kind of falls off when Gina's not there all the time.
You know what? I think you're right because some of the stuff has been memorable and some hasn't.
It's been a little dry. Like Charles is the same, and I love Rosa, but I do feel like Gina is the glue to kind of hold everybody together. So, all right, well, let's talk about today's topic, lucky number 13, or episode 13. I wanted to talk about, does meant to be apply to friends? And can you outgrow personalities and people, and how does that help you grow as a person and a friend to your other friends? So, I was gonna say, we usually hear about meant to be as like a romantic partnership or a soulmate, but what about friendships? When you meet someone as a friend, do you ever feel like, oh my God, that's gonna be my lifelong friend? Um, do you have people like that in your life? I mean, I know you kind of do, right? But like off the top of your head, some of your friends that you've met that you've known for a long time that you're still in contact with, like do you feel like you've grown with them? Like they're your besties, they're your meant to be's?
I think in some ways it really kind of, I mean, I guess the way that I look at it is friends that, that I've met since high school, friends that I've met since my 20s, and then like more recent friends. And I would say that, I think during the 20s, that's when, I had coincidentally the largest friend group, but also the friend group that I probably don't stay in contact with the most.
Yeah.
And I think because at that time, there's so many big changes, and as somebody who is not a parent, and somebody who's still very much kind of in video games, you find that there are, at least I found that there are people who did become parents and grew their families, and then that's a different life path. And then folks who did career changes, but for the most part, like the friends that I've met at 30 or from 30 onwards who are a little bit more stable,
Yeah.
they were either already parents or on their way there.
Right.
But for the most part, things didn't change. So I think, those friendships have been established, for a
Wow.
while now.
I'm gonna pause you real quick. Look at this. Look at this. Are you seeing that she is bringing me?
Is that soup?
Nope. It is a summer salad. My lovely daughter, by the way. Thank you so much. Are you singing here?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Honor roll for the fourth semester in a row. My kid just made me a salad with goat cheese.
Oh yeah, you'll like the goat.
Yeah, goat cheese and
Ooh.
strawberries, lettuce, and poppy seed.
Wait, Kennedy, is there any way to like do some kind of like celebratory thing here on TikTok?
Uh,
TikTok or Instagram.
I cannot show my face on TikTok.
You can show it on Instagram. Well, I don't get. You know what? They're gonna be fine with it on TikTok. I get in trouble for more things, other things.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Here she comes. Ready? Oh, can you see it? Oh, yeah. My smart kid.
Hi, K Fox.
That's my girl. My girl right here. All right. So, kind of, you can draw. Oh, well, you're right here. Okay, so we're talking about meant to be for friends, and you were saying,
friends.
you were saying, yeah, for friends. And Dave, you were saying that you had a big group of friends in your 20s. And you didn't go to college, correct? I mean, no shade. I'm just saying, like, for me, I met all these people when I was in college. So how did you meet so many people in your 20s organically? Was it just through work?
Yeah, it was through work, and then they had their friends, so then it just basically became that core group of people that I knew because of work, which was a very kind of like social scene at that time because we're
Yeah,
all in our early to mid 20s.
that's
But
awesome.
then everybody had their own friends outside of work as well, so it's just because everybody was in the mode of socializing, going out to party or to
Right.
drink or just to do things, you just kind of hung out with them through osmosis, I guess.
Yeah, no,
And that, yeah.
and you have like interests, I feel like, right? Like when I was in college, it was for art. So it was like all my artsy friends. And we were always going out to doing cool shit together, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it was very simple. It's like you're hanging out because you're, commiserating about work, or you're hanging out because you want to go meet somebody,
Right, right, right. Well, that's dope.
Eat somebody?
Meet somebody, Dave,
Oh,
like
I thought
meet
I heard
somebody?
eat somebody.
or eat somebody, but
Meet
you
somebody, yeah.
generally wanted to meet them first.
Oh, okay.
Meet them and then eat them.
Hold on, I'm just gonna pick up Leia. I know I feature her every week, right? Like how big she's gotten, but like look at this. Like even Dave, you haven't seen her in a week. Well, hold on, look. I look at this dog. Like I had to, oh, you kind of can't see her. I had to beg her last night because I thought maybe she was ready to pop, and I was like, Leia, please, please, just at least let's get through the night, you know.
Mhm.
So I think it's coming. What's your definition of a friend? Like, how would you
My,
define, like,
mm.
for not a friend, like, in general, like, for you, like, for Dave Padilla, to be Dave Padilla's friend, how, like, what do you consider, like, what's that definition?
I mean, I think generally it tends to be somebody who, if I was being a little bit more specific to myself, I guess, and my leanings, is somebody that probably aligns with, similar values about, politics, on how you treat kind of others, things like that. I mean, somebody who's fairly liberal. I mean,
Right,
I find it a lot easier to just, get along with people that have those same values.
right.
So for me, it becomes down to like, is this somebody that I'm going to hang out with and have a good time with? Is this somebody that I'm going to, trust to be myself with?
Okay.
But it's also like, is this somebody that I trust who is going to be a good, trust to be a good person around others?
Right. So your need of a friend is like interests. You
Yeah,
like
I mean, but it's also, like how are we going to interact when we're together? And also, like, I mean, I guess the important, like the last thing that I mentioned too is like, how do they treat others as well? Like if there's somebody who's just an asshole to wait staff or to kids
oh
or to pets, then
oh my
obviously
god.
that's not a person I would ever classify as a friend.
I 100% agree with you with that. I don't feel like it's talked about enough, right? Like you and I, when we're out, I'm always like complimenting our servers or whatever. Because if you're gonna be rude to someone who's bringing you your food or your drinks, hey, you can fuck right off.
Wait, what happened?
If you're rude to somebody in food service, like Dave was saying, he can't really have a friend that's going to be rude to someone that's serving them food or what. I totally agree with you. I feel like the caring of others, right? Do unto others as so on and so forth. Like that's huge. Um, what are your expectations for a friendship? And then I'm going to kind of go into what mine are. So for you, like your friend is someone you can hang out with, that you guys can get along, and everything is cohesive. But then, like like now for a friendship, like what are your expectations? Because I feel like they could be different than mine.
I mean, I think at this point at 43, it's somebody who's putting in as much energy into like being around me as I am into being around them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, one thing that I've noticed as you get older is that, you just have to put a lot more effort to kind of maintain connections, whether they're longtime friends or family or even new friends. And I think, I generally tend to give old friends like a pass if we haven't talked for a while. People get busy, and then when you hang out again, it feels like it's like if no time has passed, right? But with
Right.
new friends, it really kind of comes down to like, like what effort are they putting into like, hanging out with me? Am I the one who's always making plans? Am I
Ugh.
the only one who's, kind of maintaining those friendships? At that point, it really starts becoming like one-sided.
Yeah.
And, I oftentimes, at least now, don't really have energy to kind of maintain those friendships.
It definitely, if you live geographically, like even just like over a few freeways, right? Let's like just local to Southern California. Like we have a lot of traffic here, and I get that it can be a pain in the butt. But you're right that being able to go see each other is. Oh, I'm gonna say hi to Denise over here. Okay, hold on. Go live with Kissy Sky. We're getting Denise Fuller Bodemer on the other feed. I think. Hold on. Let me just make sure. I have no requests. Okay, I don't know how to work this fucking thing. But anyway, I think that you're right, that compromising. Well, hello. Speaking of friends in different area codes, how are you? We're talking about meant to be for best friends and friends. I'm glad you're here because I value you like as a friend for sure. We're talking about. Dave pointed out. I said earlier. I asked what is the definition of a friend. We'll ask you that in a second. But right now we're asking like, what are your expectations for friendships? And Dave is saying, if you have to go visit each other, right? Like, making sure that it is, hold on, I'm waving to you even though you're right here. Making sure that you're both compromising on when you go to see each other, right?
Right.
Dave, what else for you? What do you expect out of a friendship?
Um, I mean, like, I think generally just be a good person and, be somebody that I can actually talk to and be open with.
Yeah, yeah. Denise, for you, and by the way, I was gonna give you a shout out already, Denise. I have a list of people on my phone, and I should have put it here. So before I forget, because I was gonna shout out you, but also to Rachel Bowers, who you also know, my other like longtime best friend. DA, head lawyer, badass single mom. She couldn't be joining us right now because she's at jujitsu. Because if she's not kicked, she's amazing. Rachel basically put CrossFit on the map. If she's not busting ass in court, she's busting ass in the gym, So what are your expectations for a friendship? You and I have known each other for a long time, and I feel like we've always kept in contact. Lately, obviously more since I've moved back, but
right.
For you, like, what do you need out of a friendship?
If I call you or text you, a response. I mean, I'm simple. Like, I get it. Like, most of my friends are moms.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that moved away from everybody.
Yeah.
So I get that it's hard to, like, connect in person all the time. But if I text you, even if you're busy, send me an emoji that you got it. And, like, I have so many friends that now I'll be like, hey, I really miss you. And I don't hear from them. I'm like, okay, I guess you don't miss me. But you're done. You're off the list.
It's funny when you say that, like, send an emoji. My biggest pet peeve is when I send something to somebody and they just give me the thumbs up.
Well, at least for me, it knows I know you got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Or at least acknowledging that you saw something that I sent you. Because I have a lot of friends that don't even acknowledge when I text them. Or I'm like, hey, I really miss you. I want to spend time with you. No. And it's
radio silence.
I'm going to be in the area. And it's blank.
Dave learned the hard way that if you what are those things called, Dave? The reactions?
Oh, the emojis? Or what?
No, not the emojis.
The reaction.
No, the reactions.
Yeah,
and then they just go up.
Yeah, like you on an iPhone, you touch your phone, you touch the message and like a heart or a thumbs up or whatever comes up, and it's just like
balloons go off. Yeah.
I can't fucking no, not even that. That's cute. That's like if you're wishing someone happy birthday. It's just like did you like my message? And then it's just like heart. It's a reaction, and it's like just say yes. Texting is already the easiest fucking way to not actually talk to somebody. Stop making it even more abbreviated. You can say, yeah, I got it, or oh, cute. You know what I mean? If you just give me a little fucking thumbs up, I'm telling you right now, fuck right off. Like before I met Dave and I was dating, right? And people would just be like, oh, same thing with those little reactions. Right. Off the island. I was like, I'm sorry, it's not going to work out. Actually, knowing what we know now, it's not I'm sorry. It's not going to work out because you can't even respond with 3 letters.
Right.
Anyway.
Or even if you just say, hey, I'm busy, I'll call you later.
Good to hear from you. Yeah.
But then so many people never call me back. So I'm like, well, I guess it wasn't worth it.
Getting on the phone, for me personally, because I love to talk and you know it, if there's certain people where if you call, you're one of them. Josh is one of my friends, Steven. If you call, I need to be ready for that phone call because you're gonna hear from me for like an hour.
Right.
And I want to have that energy to give you my undivided attention, you know? And so I almost feel like a disservice. Sometimes people call and I go, nope, not right now. And that goes for some of my family members. Like I love my aunt. She goes, oh, you answered the phone this morning. And I go, yep, I've had my tea. I'm driving. I dropped off Kennedy. I went to bed at a decent hour. Like I'm good. I'm ready to talk on the phone.
Right.
You know, for me.
Sorry, I'm making dinner.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. Look at Kennedy made me a salad. She's so nice to me. She's over here eating said salad with her fingers.
My freaking kid is playing on his computer and not helping me.
Did he do his homework? Let me see him. Jordan, let me see him.
He's busted.
Jordan.
You're not helping. Kennedy made her a salad for dinner.
Yeah, look at what I got.
Yeah, well, he did make me orange chicken 2 nights ago.
You know, I totally, what do you call it, diverting from the topic really quick, but it was funny.
Sorry.
No, I was laughing because earlier I was just thinking about what a shithead my kid's dad is, right? And I remember something that you had said forever ago, and I'm sure Jordan has heard this, but I remember you said, if he didn't look just like his dad, I would have told him it wasn't his. And I was thinking about that today because I thought the same thing. I was like, you know, if she didn't look just like him, I could have gotten away with so much more. You know what I mean? I don't know who the dad is. But anyway, you know, for me, my expectations of a friend now, they've shifted because I think that I don't want so many, or I don't allow so many people in my life to, you know what I mean, to consider them as actually a friend. And so, you know, for lack of a better term, sometimes I'm just like, you better leave a scorched earth for me, you know, because I will do the same. Like, you know, like, if people have wronged me or a friend or a group, if I have been wronged in a group, I expect my friends to go to bat for me because I have also been in that situation, right? Where I've been with friends where they've needed me and it's been really, really dire. And they're like, you know, and I will go, I'll cancel my plans or whatever. I'll rearrange my life for the next day to make sure that I can be there for them because I know that that's what I would want. Right. A couple years ago, a friend of mine was in, and I think I've talked about this on the hotline before, but a friend of mine was in a situation where she had to move quick. The living situation became unsafe, and I got a task force together. I was super proud, and we got her out. You know what I mean? And she was very happy. But we had a couple, like one friend. This was girl. She was always flaky, and of course, right when we, you know, we're all getting together and about to do a heist, she goes, "Do you really need me?" And I'm like, you know what? You don't need to be around. I'm sorry I even asked. But I cut ties with her right after that because I thought, you know what? She's so not dependable, unreliable, and she would never be there for me.
Right.
But I always had to hear about her whiny bullshit. So yeah, I feel like, you know, as the kids would say, like, I ride hard for my friends. You know, if you need me, I am there. I also don't work for my friends. If you've got a dog that, you know, you need babysitting, you want to ride a horse, you want to lease a horse, like, I will give you all those things for free, you know?
Right.
And could I use the money? Yeah, but I don't work for my friends. I want my friends to rely on me for those things, you know? Okay, so there's all kinds of different types of friendships. How you doing over there, Dave? You good?
I'm right here.
I love this for us. Okay. So I feel like there's different types of friendships, right? Like Dave was saying earlier that he had a big group when he was in his 20s, but as he's gotten older, like it's a more selective group because those people, Dave, I'm going to paraphrase, are more like stable in their lives. Like they know what they want, right? And they all have common interests.
Right.
And so I think that there are some people, right, that come into your life to teach you a lesson or fill a need, right? And some of those friends can be temporary. Like when I was in college, I also had a shit. Are you watching something with volume on right now? Kennedy. I had a lot of friends in college. We had a lot of common interests. Some of those common interests were partying.
Right.
And, you know, some of us are still in touch, but sometimes, you know, I'm kind of like, we just, you know, you part ways because you all, you know, you grow up, and some people, like I had a family, some people didn't. And there are friends that you get that are like lifers, you know, like they're your family no matter what. Like Dave, you've got Nick and Adam and Aaron, right? Like you said you've known them forever.
Yeah, pretty much. Rich, like, I mean, I have friends that
Rich.
I've,
Oh my
yeah.
God. I love Rich. I was actually texting with him earlier. Rich, yeah, you've known him for a long time. I have a couple of friends that I'm still friends with from grade school. Alexis Cordero. I'm just gonna tag everybody in the videos later and send it and be like, you have to watch the episode. My friend Alana. So Alexis, Alana, and I were friends from like fucking first grade all the way into college. And it was so fun because like I didn't really think that they had like paid attention to me on Instagram or whatever, and the three of us were all hanging out, I think like late last year or earlier this year. I can't remember because, you know, what is time? And it was cute because Alana was like, Jen, your daughter is gorgeous. I love seeing all your stories. And I went, oh my God, like you pay attention to me? So I think that's also important, right? That your social media presence with your friends, like, I always tell my friends, like, look, just because I don't call or I'm not texting doesn't mean I'm not thinking about you. And I think that being able to send memes and things like that, like you sent me something funny today, like those are things where you're like, we're still in touch, right? We're still friends. Well, you know, Stephanie Griffith, I never get to see her. Her barn is way the hell far away and she lives in Hollywood, but we send each other memes like it's our job, you know?
Right.
And so, you know, and the same thing, like, is there, like, when you meet someone that you know, like, you're going to be friends with for life, you know, like, what are some of these, like, Kennedy sending something to me? Bring up the Kennedy wants us, okay, Dave, so this Saturday or Sunday or whatever, Kennedy wants us to all do, like, a mukbang where we like our video, like it's a video where we just sit there and we eat or whatever. Apparently, apparently I can, but it's messy, right? You're supposed to like.
No,
mix
I know exactly what it is.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
So apparently you're going to be filming that for us, and because you know people like seeing skinny people eat. You can just talk. It's okay. Just talk. I can't see that. Don't say things out loud.
Don't say things out loud!
She's showing it to me on her phone. I don't know what to say. So anyway, so some of the ways, like, it's funny, like, some of the ways I've met friends lately, right? Like Jacob, who's my bestie out here, and he works at Starbucks. And we, like, he kind of had, like, a resting bitch face. And I was like, I'm going to make him my friend, right? And now he's been over every day this week. We've been making bracelets and whatever. Jesse was my door dasher, you know? And so it's just so funny, like these people, then they become like, you know, like staples, right? Like part of the family. And then I've got friends like from Colorado, my friend Kate, my friend Alba and Mohaba, you know, like we all met, like Kate and Alba and I met through a music group, like a Facebook group. And Mohaba and I were preschool teachers together. And yet like, we all live in different, you know, Kate and Alba live in Colorado. Mohaba lives in Austin now. It's just like, we all still stay in touch all the time. And I love that because we could easily not be in touch, you know? Jordan, yeah, what are you doing, Jordan? Okay.
Getting me a drink downstairs.
I got one of those too. Okay, so I want to talk about now, where are we at on time? Kennedy said, you can't see it on Instagram. She wrote pee pee poo poo on my whiteboard. Anyway, can you not get out of here? Okay. What about what happens like when friendships fade, like, and you kind of outgrow? Like, it's easy to outgrow people, I think, in your 20s. You know, I wrote something funny here, like, this dog is so fucking pregnant. I think that with a friend, it's just like, if you've been with someone for a long time, right? Like, not even you and John. Like, let's just say you're a high school sweetheart with somebody. It takes a really special relationship. Get out of here. It takes a really special connection to be able to be with someone when you were in high school, have kids, and further your, you know what I mean? Like, move on and evolve as a couple. But, like, does that same thing apply as friends? Because I know I've had friends that, I wrote this down, it was funny. You know, a lot of my friends, like, we used to go clubbing and do a bunch of disco dust, you know, in, like, a bathroom stall and have a therapy session in our cars while walking around in Hollywood. But, like, as I've gotten older and had a kid and tried to mellow out, tried being the operative word, you know, there's still organic things that I do, but, you know, do you feel like, you know, are those, like, if one person is still into that lifestyle and you're not, how easy is it to continue that friendship?
It's not.
It's not, right? It's kind of like near impossible.
Yeah.
But why do you think so?
Well, for my friends that are still in their, oh my God, we're years old.
You're like,
and they don't have kids, they're not married, and they're still going out every night and partying and going to work hungover. I can't relate with that.
and is it almost like give you the ick? Like, yeah. Why are you still doing that?
Exactly. Like, you're how old and you're still hooking up with strangers, you're still drinking till you're blackout drunk. Like, how do you still do that? How do you even have the energy to do that?
No.
And I way more relate to my friends that have kids, especially like me and you. They're very close in age.
Right.
I have friends now that their kids are off in college or grown, and even my stepkids are grown and on. Right. And they're getting back into partying life, and I'm like, I don't even relate to you. Like,
it's too much. You know,
it's too much. Like, I'd rather just be home and.
No, like, okay, now I'm going to ask Dave the same question. Dave, are you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Dave is younger than both of us, but not by too much. Do you feel like that same thing, like, you don't have kids, you know, of your own, obviously. And so do you feel like, you said, because I know you have a lot of friends that do have kids. Do you feel that, like, so Denise, did you hear Denise? She was saying, like, she has friends even at our age, right, that are just, like, blackout, drunk, whatever. How do you?
Oh, yeah. I have a couple of those, yeah.
Right. And so are you, like, do you feel, even at your age, are you ever like, what is going on? I'm just saying hi to you, Rosanna, because I know you're at work. Do you feel like, why are you still doing that? Or do you just go, whatever, YOLO, you don't have kids?
Yeah, pretty much that one. I mean, the YOLO, because I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really affect me. You know, people have. I think what I've learned is, you know, like, my lifestyle doesn't necessarily always fit everybody else, and vice versa.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, you know, in that specific situation, if it brings harm to others, then maybe, like, you know, that is certainly an issue.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know. I mean, it really kind of comes down to what you can relate to, right? Like, I mean, the hard partying lifestyle, especially in your 40s, isn't something I relate to anymore. You know, I'm not going to knock it because I was all about that in my 20s.
Right.
But, you know, I think at this point, I would just, you know, say to those friends to take care of themselves. But, you know, but at the same time, too, I don't really try to surround myself with that, right? And I know we've had a conversation about, you know, especially with me having friends that have kids, you know, like, I can't relate to the kid situation by any means. You know, I can understand it, and I can kind of, like, see where they're coming from in terms of, you know, only being available at certain times or only to do certain things. But I think that's where, you know, putting in the effort to foster the friendships where you can is important. You know, the lifestyle differences, totally get it. It doesn't always, you know, work out. You know, you're either not doing family things or you're not out partying. But it's about finding that common ground and having that energy reciprocated.
And I think that's something you and I have been, I wouldn't say struggling with, but it's been, is challenge even the right word? It's an adjustment, right? Because for me, I'm like, Dave, how are you up? It's 11,
Yeah.
like 11:30. But he doesn't have to get up early, right? Like for me,
Yeah.
like I'm like, my alarm is going off at 7. If I'm not out of bed at 7:05, you know who else is not out of bed? My kid. I've got dogs I need to let out. You know, I've got and especially right now, I've got some boarding dogs that don't get along with other dogs, so I've got to do these shifts, and I'm just like, how I trust me. Over the summer when I didn't have to get up as early, I was staying up till 2 in the morning doing all kinds of stuff that's totally organic and helps me gain weight. But I'm just saying, you know, I would be like, Dave, it's 7:00 in the morning. Sorry, and you know what I mean. I'm not awake. But for the most part, now that school is back in session, and I have, you know, it's hard for me to be like, I would, you know, relating to that too. Not that I don't wish that I could stay up late. It's just that even like on the weekends, if I'm up till like 2 in the morning, I'm fucked the next day. I am so tired. It's not about any kind of drinking or whatever. It's the fact that like if mama doesn't get her like 7 hours of sleep and I've taken my trazodone at 2 and I'm getting up at 7, oh my God, I'm miserable the whole day. And I do, you know, and I think also for me, friends that have kids, like I have plenty of friends. First of all, I don't really have many friends that have kids. Like I've got you, I've got a few others. I've recently become more friendly with some parents at Kennedy School because she's got some cool friends.
Congratulations.
I know, right? And they're cool. Like the one guy's in a metal band. One lady trains animals for the movies. Another one is my vet, right? Like, actually, that's married to the metal band. But they're like another couple, like another family down the street. Like, I love them and their daughters. And it's been nice to be able to connect because they have fun, but they still have kids, you know? And I think that for me, it's been a whole new thing. I haven't had a lot of parent friends. And so I do find that like the friends that I have that don't have kids love my kid. Obviously my kid does a lot of fun adult shit. So I've not really experienced any situation where it's like Kennedy's not welcome or whatever, but is that spontaneous going out on a Wednesday or spending money on other things that just, it takes away from what I need to spend here. DoorDash. And so it's hard for me to feel like I'm saying no all the time to people. And then I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm not like a good friend fit. You know? Okay, so the other thing here's my last point. It's gonna be a shorter episode and it's fine because football is on. And also, Denise, I wanted to let you know next week we're going to Wednesdays because football's on Thursdays. And I know you know this about me, but in case anybody else out there is watching, I fucking love football. And I love fantasy football. I'm in 2 leagues. One is highly competitive and we talk a lot of shit. And actually, I wrote Tyler Giglio equals butt because that's my cousin who I'm playing this week. And he is a butt. And I hope I kick his ass. Because I usually don't. But anyway, one of the things that makes friends, like I'm going to point out a couple of things and you guys tell me too. Signs that, you've got a soulmate in a friend. Because that's, I think, a big thing, right? You can have friend love, right? I always say to my friend Mahaba in Austin, she's Pakistani, and she's my Pakistani Muslim princess, Like, that girl is so spiritual, but I'm telling you, she'll just text me out of nowhere and be like, are you good? And I go, I'm not good. How did you know? I could feel it. And I go, oh my God. And I haven't seen her in years. That's not true. 2 years. But you know what I mean? But I haven't seen her in a long time. And she's one of those people where I pick up the phone and we just talk. And sometimes I'm being selfish because I'm just going through some shit. And I know that she's just like my shaman. And so I'm just like, she doesn't even care that I'm spouting off. She's about to have her second child in like a month. And I'm just like, oh, I forgot you were pregnant. But also I got into a fight with my family. Can you listen to me complain about it? But I think that some of the signs that someone is your soulmate friend is, you have these like effortless conversations or, there's laughter and there's comfort, but also you support through judgment, like without judgment, but you can support by being transparent.
Right.
And I've always kind of felt like I've had some friends in my life where I'm like, are we still doing that? You're back on your bullshit? You're going to do that? You know, even some of my friends now, like, that I haven't known as long, but I'm like, oh, good, this is how you are. I'm glad I'm recognizing this now because I'm just letting you know we can still be friends, but being friends with me is going to be rough because I'm going to call you out on your shit. Like my friend Jessie, who I love, the bulldog owner, bitch, you made me take a whole day to go to the vet because you wanted to get some, you know, information on her eye and her diet, and now you're not doing anything about it, and that is driving me crazy as your friend. However, a good friend that I am, I'm going to be like, that's his dog. It's his business. I still love him. I don't want it to come between us, right?
Right.
Just don't fucking talk to me about the dog anymore. But also, I think that the best sign of a friendship is you can have a disagreement and you get through it.
Right. 100%.
Like Stephanie will always tell me, you hate being alone. And I go, yeah, well, I've come to grips with that. I do hate being alone. I hate being, you know, I like to talk.
I'm okay with being alone. I hate being alone, and I'm okay with surrounding myself with people.
And
I don't like them.
And then it's the opposite, right? Like, then I'm like, I'm good being alone, but up till a certain, are you going to jump down? I think you should be careful. You're carrying a lot of babies here. There you go. Ooh. That's all I need is a Frenchie miscarriage in my house. You know, there are days when I'm like, I'm good being alone. But like after, for example, Dave, who I love, will be here for a whole weekend, and then he leaves, and I'm like on the Sundays where Kennedy's still at her dad's and doesn't come back the next day, I'm just like, okay, I guess it's just me talking to the dogs and the new cat and Godzilla, my bearded dragon. You know what I mean? Then it's just like a loneliness that I don't like, and then I miss my friends.
I'm completely the opposite. When people are around too much, I need them to go away.
That's why you moved to the mountains.
I mean, that's not the only reason, but it has helped.
Yeah, I when I was in Colorado, I missed all my LA friends.
Right.
And then I moved back, and I have seen half of you once or twice. I don't know that I've even seen.
I think you moved back, and it took us a year to connect again.
And you know what? And on that note, as you get older, it gets harder to make the time to physically see someone. Like, I am so grateful for this, you know what I mean? And FaceTime, because it is a lot easier to connect with people and be like, hey, I see you, I miss you, than to be like, I'm so sorry. I don't even know what my day is going to be like from day to day. And I'm not that important. I'm not curing cancer. I'm not a doctor. I don't even train horses full time anymore. Like, I have nothing but time, really. But I've got this kid, right? And, you know, I need to pick her up from school at 3 o'clock or 3:15. And it changes things when you want to. And I haven't seen, like, Rachel Bowers. I haven't seen her at all since I've moved back.
No, I haven't seen her since there was no more Punk Pony.
Dude, and she has a kid. I'm embarrassed.
On Instagram or Facebook, one of them, and so like I see her live, and I'm like, oh, cool.
You know what?
Awesome.
I'm embarrassed because I told her I was going to shout her out like a million times this episode. Rachel Bowers, my lawyer friend. I can't remember how old her kid is, and she's got to be. Harper's got to be
4, 5.
She's
6.
got 5, 6. Fuck. So anyway, but I think that, you know, as you know, when you're older and you try to make those connections, right, or keep those connections, it's rough. So anyway, but I think that, you know, being able to be transparent with friends is the best friendship, in my opinion. You know, I'm not going to be like, you know, what were you thinking marrying that guy or whatever? I mean, you got to read the room and be respectful, but I think being able to call some things out, like, look, I know it's been rough and I do want to hear you complain, but have you thought about getting a therapist? You know, or things like that. I wrote, disagreeing and getting through it, being able to share your opinions and thoughts respectfully, even though you know the other person isn't going to want to hear it.
Yeah.
You know who you are out there, get a therapist. You know, that goes for everybody. Am I missing anything? What happened? What happened?
Women's friendship is a lot different than men's friendship.
Yes.
Like, women friends, men friends, and then there's a completely different female-male friendship.
Yes.
Like, still best friends with my high school boyfriend that I was engaged to. And now we're both married and have kids, but if I need to tell a secret or advice or whatever, I will always call him. And John, they're funny. Both of their names are John.
Oh.
So husband John completely understands the friendship. He's not jealous. He's like, did you call John about it? And I'll be like, no, maybe I should.
Yeah.
And then it's like my friendship with you, where I can know 100% you're going to keep a secret that I bought something that I wasn't supposed to buy, and I'm hiding it.
I have no idea what you're talking. I don't even know who you are. I don't know what you're talking about. I think you know, you're totally right that. I think you know, you're totally right that. First of all, correct me if I'm wrong. Being friends with me is like being friends with a guy. You know. No, am I girly? I mean, because I feel like
yes, you're very outspoken. You're down to the point, and I think that's why I appreciate you so much. Is because, I mean, at first you're like, "Why are you doing that? It's young, and that's too much money." And I'm like, "I don't care. I'm doing it anyway."
You know, Rachel.
Okay, I'll help you out. What do you need?
Exactly. I'm like, all right, I'll come up there. I'll be the first one to sit on it. Rachel Bowers did the same.
Are more like, they try to be very supportive. They're not going to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
They're not going to call me out on my BS.
Yeah.
They're going to try and not hurt my feelings. And I'd rather have someone be like straight up. Like, no, you're being stupid, but I'll support you anyway. And that's what I get from my girlfriends.
Totally.
Maybe one or two of them.
I know I was going to say it's funny because my girlfriends, I don't see in person as often, right?
Right.
I have so many guy friends, and originally when Dave and I met... Wait, what? Well, and it's hard because, like, and I'm not saying I don't, you know, like, some girls will, or some women will be like, I relate to men more. That's not necessarily it. It's just that most of the people in my life now are men. A big handful of them are gay. And originally, like when Dave and I met, and we have, you know, our mutual friend Tanya, who I love, and she's beautiful and whatever. And I knew Tanya had a boyfriend, Chris, who again, we love Chris. Originally I said to Dave, because he put a lot of stock of kind of like his, like what he needed for advice, and, you know, from what like what Tanya would say, or like, you know, go to her a lot. And at first I was like, hey, this dog keeps trying to eat my salad. I was like, you know, that's going to be like, how do you have such a platonic, strong relationship with someone who gives you so much advice, but, you know, like she has a boyfriend, like, doesn't that make it weird? And he's like, no, not at all. And then I started to think, first of all, I love Tanya. So that was, you know, that theory was flushed down the toilet. She's great. And she's there for me just as much as she is for Dave. But then I started thinking, well, 90% of my friends are guys. My friend Brian Cummins, who I grew up with, our parents were best friends. My friend Josh, who I've known since before Kennedy was married, he was friends with Mike. Steven, he's, you know, Ben, Jacob, now Jesse. Like, most of my friends are men. But I also find that my guy friends are going to be the ones to be like, that's some bullshit. You know what I mean? They're going to be the ones to call me out. Especially Steven, my gay husband. He won't even take my calls half the time. Because he's like, I don't want to hear it. You're doing great, or you're not doing great. Don't put me in the middle. Jennifer, grow up. And I go, Jesus Christ, I can't even be petty with that man anymore. So anyway, so I do think that you're right. My friendships with guys, I'm very careful, right? Because it's been suggested that my confidence and my straightforwardness can come off as flirty, and I'm not like, I just like to rizz people up. I like to be like, hey, that's cool. But I've really tried to keep that in check, especially, you know, now that I have a boyfriend, because I want to be respectful.
Yeah, I guess I just don't have that many guy friends that are in relationships with women that are not confident in themselves.
Right, or threatened.
I could not be friendly or be myself with a guy friend that had a girlfriend that was super insecure.
100%.
It made me uncomfortable.
Right.
Because I'm like, oh, shoot, I don't want to cause any...
Right. You don't want to get in the middle.
...thing in between them. So, like, I have a really good friend that I've been friends with since junior high, and he's married, and sometimes it could come across flirty on his end.
Yeah.
But I always have to make sure I include his wife in everything.
Yes.
So every text, I include her. If she posts something on Facebook, I have to make sure I personally respond or make a comment to her, because she's so insecure that it will get flipped that I am like, I don't even know. And he's gross, and I'd rather be friends with her anyways.
Yeah.
I feel too much work.
I feel bad for any of my guy friends that end up getting girlfriends soon. Because, you know, it's not that I'm threatening. It's just that like I said, I kind of come off as like that. Like, I want to watch football, and, you know, I'm all of this. And so a lot of guys are like, you know, you want to smoke some and watch football? Oh my God, you want to just eat snacks all day? You know, that's a great situation. Fortunately, Dave does like to do those things, so that's good. I'm going to flip it to Dave super quick before we wrap up. Dave, do you have, I've met a lot of your friends, but like, do you have a more girl to guy friend ratio, or is it about equal? And then do you also think that relationships with your guy friends are different, not bad, different, just different than relationships with your women friends?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I would say the split now in terms of who I hang out with is, it's funny. Maybe it's a little bit more uneven. Maybe it's more guys than women now at this point. I think it was pretty even in my 30s. It was definitely a lot more guys in my 20s. But yeah, I mean, I
You
think
were having that whole life, Dave. You're being a hoe.
exactly. But I think, in terms of how I treat, male versus like women friends, like, I mean, I think part of it is different maybe at this age because, a lot of people are partnered up. Like, I don't necessarily have a lot of single friends per se.
Yeah.
So if it's like, a male friend that has a wife or a girlfriend or something like that, I mean, I think the approach is certainly, I think the topics are kind of maybe a little bit different as well. But if it's a woman friend, and especially like, with me working in the video game industry and traveling, like, I mean, I do run into a lot of women friends as well.
Yeah.
Dave
is
I
friends
think
with so many beautiful women. They are of all they're either straight or gay, whatever, or they're married. I have not met a one woman that Dave is friends with that I'm not like, oh my God. Like, they're all gorgeous, Denise. And I get to meet all of them, and I'm always like, oh my God, they're like, they have kissable faces, you know? Sorry, Dave, keep going. I just had to point that out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think there is probably a certain level of respectfulness, though, that I approach those friendships with. But I think that's also because I'm mindful of how, like, in our industry, maybe in the entertainment industry, a lot of women encounter guys who are very predatory or who are, just trying to, be friends with them to get in their pants. And, I want to make sure, huh?
In the video game industry specifically, or just
Well,
in general?
in general, I mean, I see it in my industry for sure, and I've heard stories. So I think that's where, I always try to make sure that I am mindful about that, and certainly now as I've gotten into relationships, I try to be mindful about making sure that my partner, aka girlfriend Jennifer, knows what's going on and when I'm hanging out so that there aren't any surprises. But in terms of those specific friendships, yeah, it is a little bit different because I think, you as a guy, like you do have to watch out for your women friends a little bit more, especially knowing that there are predatory guys.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, the topics can be different. I mean, in some ways you kind of like let them lead the conversation if it goes outside of, work stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you always try to rein it in and make sure that it is about, stuff that is above board, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I will say Dave is very, very proper, just like in general. And, when we met, I think I told you this, Denise, but like when we had met and we were just like, we're both just trying to be friends. And I was like, okay, like, Dave is gonna be like my best friend, you know? Like he's super fun, he's great, like very well received, he's got great friends, both men and women. And then I was like, I can't believe he's not trying to make out with me. Like, what the fuck? And that's, you know what I mean? Then I'm just like, there's a different dynamic there where he's like, look, I am just trying to be proper because so many guys do break those boundaries or they don't respect the like, that you can have just like a platonic relationship, that some girls can just be friends with some guys. And I was like, do you not think I'm hot? Do you not want to make out with me? He was like, I didn't say that I didn't. So that's on a different episode of MILF Hotline where we talk about how I was a little aggressive in my acquisition of Dave, but my acquisition. But yeah, I think that especially when you have friends of the opposite sex that like you find like that they're your soulmate friend, right? Like that's my friend Brian Cummins in Florida. He is my best friend, meant to be forever. But it is important that if you are in a relationship, you know, that you include, like you said, like you have to make sure you're including your meant to be friend's significant other, because for lack of a better way to describe it, you just don't want to come off as a threat. You know, you want to make sure that those lines are clear. That's your man. That's your woman, you know?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to wrap it up because my fantasy app is going off like crazy. I've got Jalen Hurts in my starting lineup today, quarterback for the Eagles, and it seems like it's going well. And like I said before, my cousin Tyler's a butt, and I need to beat him this week. So on that note, I want to say thank you, Denise, for calling in. It was really nice to see you as always. And I've got all kinds of stuff for you for that thing you didn't get. I meant to send you a picture today, but I've got all kinds of things in my backyard for you. Like I cleaned them. And Dave, I'll call you later. I also want to thank you for being here. Being
Of course.
the second best part to MILF Hotline. Obviously, the first part being the dogs. Anyway.
Well, I'll be down, not this weekend, the following weekend.
I'll be here because I've got nowhere to be and I'm working.
And I won't be sick this time.
You know what? Good, because I probably will be. Everybody is sick down here, by the way. Dave and I, we're so lucky we have not gotten this plague that everybody seems to have gotten. And Dave pointed out that the reason I haven't gotten sick this time is because I'm healthy now.
There you go.
And I feel really good about that, right? And, I thought it's been 104 all week here. I stepped on a scale, worried that I lost some of the weight that I put on. I'm still 91 pounds, y'all. That's big for me, right? Because I was 82 pounds, so. Anyway, all right. I'll talk to you soon. I got some stuff for you. Dave, I love you. And don't forget, next Wednesday, we're going live at 6.
Next Wednesday. Can't wait.
We're going live at 6 next week. All right, you guys.
I'm going to send you a picture really quick. I got another one of the thing I'm not supposed to have.
I don't know what you're even talking about. You better delete all of this and change your social security number. This is an incriminating video.
Right?
All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.
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 Bye, Dave.